Best planet of the game, Planet Kronos. So this is probably my favorite level in the run, and it's a lot of people's favorite levels too, or at least among their favorite, but it can also be really difficult if you're starting out. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, there's a lot of things to cover, so don't worry, you'll get through just fine. So, loading screen, gotta skip that cutscene. First mission, infiltrate the cathedral. We're gonna do an air swing here. So there's two robots at the start. These two right here. There's the one in the front and the one in the back. We're gonna be charging into a bullet fired by the one in the front. So some things to note. The robot in the back can shoot the robot in the front, which will make things a bit awkward. It'll just make things slower. So keep that in mind. The robot in the front, sometimes in a very rare circumstance, it can miss. Its shots will miss you. So if that happens, just restart the mission so you can just set it up again. And now, you're going to charge into the bullet, take damage, and you only need to take one additional hit. Hopefully you'll be getting the attack where the first robot will smack you with its gun. And now, once you take one additional hit, turn the camera to the left and start air swinging to the end. I specify that you want to turn the camera to the left because if you turn to the right, there's a chance that Ratchet will if you're too quick with if you're too quick with beginning the air swing, Ratchet will dart off in a random direction, and this might mean he'll dart off this way, and what that can mean for you is maybe he'll clip onto a grind rail like this, and that's obviously really bad. So that's why I specify to the left. So charge into this bullet. After one additional hit, look to the left and charge to the end. If you somehow don't have enough height and Ratchet will not get onto this platform, you can always just do a state cancel to end the air swing and he'll grab onto the ledge. So don't worry if that happens. Command the bots to hack these two orbs and then pull out the fusion rifles, supernova, and leviathan flail. And then afterwards is our first encounter against shell shock. Well, don't worry about these enemies. These enemies are not going to be a nuisance for you. So, introducing shell shock. Almost said the wrong challenge name. You can start by either doing a flail cancel. You'll want to probably do this hyper strike. You can also stand back to get more distance if you want, or if you want, you can just have a bot deploy a grind cable. Now this part, there is a lot to explain in this mission. This is a very complex mission. So first you're going to have the supernova out so you can fire at shell shock, and then afterwards, you're going to try and get up on top of these arena walls. If you don't make it onto the arena walls, don't fret. It only saves like a few seconds if you make it up. What matters most is that you know the order of enemies. So the order of enemies. So in this game, sometimes enemies will drop from the sky in like a little box. I'm going to be referring to them as boxes. So after defeating shell shock, first there will be a dropship. Then there will be a box of enemies, another dropship, and then 3 boxes of enemies. So I'm going to play through this mission 2 times. Once with getting up on top of the arena, and then once if you don't try and get on the arena or if you fail it. So you're gonna have to wait for the bots before this cutscene trigger. Oh, fire, and then get onto the arena walls. So if you make it up top, there's gonna be a dropship coming in from there, from the left side. Shoot that. Then pull out the silencer and fire in this direction as you see this box falling from the sky. Once these enemies are dead, pull out the mines, flail, and fusion rifle. Wait here, snipe that dropship, and then there's going to be 3 sets of enemies. So, 1 set of enemies, then there's going to be another set on the other side of the arena. And then you're going to turn around and kill the last set of enemies. Now I'll show you what this mission is like if you don't get up on the arena walls for one reason or another. So, let me make sure I have the right weapons. There we go. So, shoot shell shock. Maybe you failed to get up on the arena walls or you just don't want to go for it yet. From here, you can just snipe this dropship, kill these enemies right here, and then take out the weapons you'll need for the next mission. Snipe the dropship again, and then boom, turn around, boom, and turn around again, and boom. So now a little bit to explain about getting up on the arena walls is that, as you saw, I did a flail cancel followed by a hyper strike to get up on top. There's a tiny bit of variance with the timing for these inputs. Usually, oh, that was pretty bad. Let me take out these guys. Usually I delay the Hyper Strike input just slightly. I try to do half a second in between the flail cancel and the Hyper Strike, or the double jump and the Hyper Strike to get up on top of the arena walls. But you might have to adjust on the fly. Sometimes I do it a little bit sooner, like instantly. There I failed. I was a little too far from the arena walls. There we go. You're going to have to work out the timings. Getting up onto these arena walls is a bit tricky. Even I'm not 100% consistent at getting on top. So don't fret if you can't make it. There's only one mission in which you're actually going to have to get up on top of these arena walls. And it's in the other arena on the other side of the city. And I find that to be a lot easier. I pretty much never miss that. So you'll hopefully find it easier too. So anyways, so the next mission. Enemies are such a grind. You'll have the flail out, so you can just look to the right and get out the mines. Do a mine clip through this door. Then you're going to charge over here and then do another mine clip. And then once you're through, you're going to pull out the Vulcan cannon. Oh, you got a little hasty there. Pull out the Vulcan cannon and then lag cancel over this gap so that you don't have to do extra menuing to pull out the flail. And that is enemies are such a grind. There's an air swing that we do on this mission, Infiltrate the Cathedral Part 2, but I don't recommend going for it. It is, in my opinion, the hardest air swing that is done in the route, and it's not worth it. It's pretty difficult and inconsistent, and if I tried to show it off, there isn't a 100% guarantee I'd show it off quickly. So what I'll show you instead is a much easier route. Charge and then shoot with the Vulcan cannon, and then do a few hyper strikes, or hyper stacks. 1, 2, 3. You need to be at a certain height for this elevator to start coming down. Now, there's a chance that the elevator gets stuck when it's at the bottom. So what you can do if this happens is you can double jump off the elevator like this. So pretend like I'm on the elevator. So if you jump like this, the elevator will start moving up. But keep in mind there's a chance that you miss getting back onto the elevator and it leaves you behind, and that's going to suck. So ideally, the elevator will not do this in runs, but just keep in mind that's something you might have to do. It's a small time loss, unfortunately, but you know, what can you really do? So once you're up here, get onto this platform, flail cancel and hyper strike, shoot these enemies so that you can have peace and quiet as you try and do this mine clip. This mine clip is set up like pretty much any mine clip in the game, but the difficulty comes from the fact that Ratchet does not like to stay still when you're moving left against this wall. It's very easy for him to just kind of graze past like this, so you're going to have to adjust your movement like on the fly. Yep, missed that. Take out that mine. There we go. Once you're in, take out these 2 executioners, swing and flail at these guys, and then command your bots to hack the orbs. Make sure they're actually doing their job. Sometimes, for example, I've had moments where the bots like go away for some reason. Pull out the Leviathan Flail and the Supernova for the next mission. I also recommend the Fusion Rifle for the final mission of the planet. Take out the enemies if you want. That bot's taking a while. This is the easiest arena mission in the game. Charge, and then once Shell Shock spawns, fire the Supernova at him as he goes over that wall. And then pull out the Leviathan Flail. Wait for Shell Shock to leave before you need to start doing this. You can obviously do it as soon as you defeat him, but there's no need to. Stand in the middle of the arena, face backwards, and just start spamming the Leviathan Flail. And that's it. That's the mission. Easiest one in the game. There's nothing to learn, no spawn point, anything. Just stand in the middle, look behind you, and just mash that circle button. So now, fight to the cathedral. Give yourself some space to do this flail cancel. Get up on this arena wall. Jump up here. Very easy flail cancel. Like I said, getting up onto this wall is much easier than getting up onto the walls of that arena over there. And now you're going to go from this platform to this platform with a falling neutral double jump. Like so. Now, if you somehow fail, if you lose your momentum, your speed, or something else happens and you're stuck here, you can always just flail cancel or do some pause tech or something. If you fall down here, the elevator will just come get you. To my knowledge, the elevator does not get stuck on this mission, so that is not a concern that you'll need to be thinking about. Ideally, you won't fall down there, but it could happen. It's happened to me before. So once you're up here, charge, hyper strike, get the fusion rifle ready. Now, this mission has one of the hardest wall clips in the game. What you have to do is you have to charge, fire the gun, and Ratchet will be put into a falling animation, and you're going to need to face the center of this wall over here. So as you can see, right here, there's a gap between the wall and the floor, so this is how we do this clip. So Ratchet needs to be in a falling animation, and he needs to be facing into the center of the wall. Sometimes he will graze past the center, at which point you're going to have to turn around. Now, if you fail this clip, I recommend just restarting because it's just much easier than trying to restart and having all the enemies kick your ass, and Shell Shock is out here being a nuisance. So, spawn in, charge, and then fire. And as you saw, I didn't clip instantly. I had to adjust my camera on the fly. And now get 2 bounces. Pull out the mines as you're bouncing through. Fire. Now, you really want to get that mine clip first try. Once you get that mine clip, pull out the supernova because it's the next weapon you'll use. The reason why I said that just now, the whole thing about getting the mine clip first try, is because if you don't, a bot is going to get stuck inside that area you were in. And if so, you're going to have to wait for it to respawn. Get over here. Thankfully, that didn't happen because I cleared out the... I got past that quickly. Both of the bots need to be in this arena for Shell Shock to spawn. I recommend getting away from any bots that get stuck on that wall so that they know, like, oh, I have to respawn next to Ratchet. Now, once Shell Shock comes out, once he's out of that little gate, fire the supernova and then snipe him with the fusion rifle. And you'll have completed the mission. So, I'll go over that mission one more time. So, spawn in here. Charge into this wall. Again, you'll have to adjust on the fly to make sure that you're facing towards the center. Mine clip and pull out the supernova. And then once Shell Shock is around this spot, you don't want to fire too early. Supernova, and then fusion rifle. So yeah, there's a lot of difficult stuff here. You know, the first mission has the air swing. Practice the air swing a lot. Really practice introducing Shell Shock so that you can memorize the enemy spawns. And you can adapt on the fly in case you try and go out of bounds onto the arena and you fail to do so. Enemies are such a grind, it's pretty easy. Infiltrate the cathedral, just practice the mine clip, and be good at hyperstacks. Shell Shock returns, piss easy. Fight to the cathedral is a fun movement mission, and then showdown with Shell Shock. Just make sure that you can do all of the steps in showdown with Shell Shock really fast so that you get the good bot cycles.